In a secluded mountain monastery surrounded by serene landscapes, a young seeker arrived with a heart full of questions and a mind burdened by the chaos of the world. Seeking solace and wisdom, the seeker hoped to discover the secrets to mental strength through the ancient teachings of Zen and Buddhism. The seeker was welcomed by the head monk, a wise and serene figure who embodied the tranquility that permeated the monastery. The monk's presence was calming, and the seeker felt a glimmer of hope that they had come to the right place. After a brief introduction, the monk led the seeker to a small, simple room where they would stay during their time at the monastery, as the sun set. Casting a golden hue over the mountains, the head monk invited the seeker to join him for tea. They sat in silence for a while, the stillness of the moment allowing the seeker's mind to begin to settle. Finally, the head monk spoke. To become mentally strong, he said, one must first understand the nature of the mind. Are you ready to embark on this journey? The seeker nodded, and thus began their path to mental fortitude through 5 profound tips drawn from Zen and Buddhist wisdom. Tip 1. Embrace mindfulness. The first lesson took place at dawn. The head monk guided the seeker to a meditation hall where the air was thick with the scent of incense. They sat cross-legged on the floor. And the monk began to explain the essence of mindfulness. Mindfulness, he began, is the practice of being fully present in the moment. It is about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. By doing so, you can gain insight into the workings of your mind. The seeker closed their eyes and focused on their breath, as instructed. At first, their mind raced with thoughts of the past and anxieties about the future. But gradually, as they continued to breathe deeply and steadily, a sense of calm began to wash over them. They became aware of each inhale and exhale, each sensation in their body, and the myriad sounds of nature outside the hall. After an hour of meditation, the head monk spoke again. When you are mindful, you create space between your thoughts and your reactions. This space allows you to choose your responses wisely, rather than reacting impulsively. It is in this space that true mental strength is cultivated. The seeker felt a newfound clarity and resolve. Mindfulness, they realized, was the first step toward mastering their mind. Tip 2. Cultivate compassion. The following day, the head monk introduced the seeker to the practice of compassion. They walked together to a nearby village where the monks regularly offered assistance to the villagers. The head monk explained that compassion was not only about kindness toward others but also about understanding and accepting oneself. Compassion, he said, is the antidote to anger and fear. When you cultivate compassion, you develop the ability to see the suffering of others and respond with empathy and kindness. This, in turn, strengthens your own mind and spirit. The seeker spent the day helping the villagers, listening to their stories, and offering support where needed. They observed the deep connections formed through acts of compassion and felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The head monk encouraged the seeker to extend this compassion to themselves, to forgive their own mistakes, and to treat themselves with the same kindness they offered to others. Self-compassion is crucial for mental strength, the monk explained. When you are gentle with yourself, you build resilience. You learn to stand up after every fall, to move forward despite setbacks, and to love yourself unconditionally. As the seeker reflected on these words, they felt a softening of their heart and a strengthening of their resolve. Compassion, they understood, was a powerful tool for mental fortitude. Tip 3. Practice non-attachment. On the third day, the head monk led the seeker to a quiet garden within the monastery. Here, Surrounded by the beauty of nature, they discussed the concept of non-attachment. The monk picked up a delicate flower and held it in his hand. Attachment, he said, is the root of much suffering. We become attached to people, possessions, and outcomes, and when these things change or are taken away, we experience pain. Non-attachment does not mean indifference, but rather, it means appreciating the present moment without clinging to it. The seeker pondered this idea as they watched the flower sway gently in the breeze. They realized that much of their mental turmoil stemmed from their attachments to past grievances, future expectations, and even their own identity. The head monk guided them in a meditation practice focused on letting go. Imagine your thoughts and attachments as clouds in the sky, he instructed. Watch them come and go without grasping at them. Let them pass by, and return your focus to the present moment. As the seeker practiced this meditation, they felt a sense of liberation. The weight of their attachments began to lift, and they experienced a newfound lightness of being. The head monk smiled, seeing the transformation in the seeker's eyes. Non-attachment is a path to freedom, he said. When you let go of the need to control everything, you discover an inner strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Tip 4. Embrace impermanence. The fourth lesson was perhaps the most challenging for the seeker. The head monk took them to a secluded spot by a river, where they sat in silence, listening to the flowing water. The monk then began to speak about the nature of impermanence. Everything in life is transient, he said. Seasons change, people come and go, and even our own bodies are in a constant state of flux. Embracing impermanence is essential for mental strength, as it allows us to accept the inevitability of change. The seeker struggled with this concept, as they had always feared change and clung to the familiar. The head monk encouraged them to observe the river and its continuous flow. Never the same from one moment to the next, just as the river flows, he explained, so does life. When you accept impermanence, you become more adaptable and resilient. You learn to appreciate the beauty of each moment, knowing that it will never come again. The seeker spent hours by the river, contemplating the monk's words. They began to see the wisdom in embracing change, in recognizing that nothing lasts forever. This realization brought a sense of peace and acceptance, replacing the fear that had once gripped their heart. Impermanence is a source of strength, the head monk said. It teaches us to cherish each moment, to live fully and deeply, and to let go of what no longer serves us. Tip 5. Develop inner stillness. The final lesson took place in the heart of the monastery, in a room reserved for the most profound teachings. The head monk led the seeker to a small, dimly lit chamber where they would sit in silence for an extended period. The goal of this practice was to develop inner stillness, a state of mind that remains calm and centered, regardless of external circumstances. Inner stillness, the monk began, is the foundation of mental strength. It is the ability to remain unmoved by the storms of life, to find peace within yourself even in the midst of chaos. The seekers sat in meditation, focusing on their breath and allowing their mind to settle into stillness. It was a challenging practice, as thoughts and distractions constantly arose, but the head monk's guidance kept them anchored. Do not fight your thoughts, he advised. Simply observe them and let them pass. Like waves in the ocean, they will come and go. Your true self is the stillness beneath the surface. As the hours passed, the seeker experienced moments of profound stillness. In these moments, they felt a deep connection to something greater than themselves, a sense of unity with the universe. This inner stillness became a refuge, a place of strength and tranquility that they could return to whenever needed. The head monk's voice broke the silence. When you cultivate inner stillness, you tap into a wellspring of mental strength. This stillness allows you to respond to life's challenges with clarity and wisdom, rather than reacting out of fear or anger. After weeks of intense practice and reflection, the seeker felt a profound transformation within themselves. They had embraced mindfulness, cultivated compassion, practiced non-attachment, accepted impermanence, and developed inner stillness. These 5 tips had become guiding principles, infusing their life with newfound strength and resilience. As the day of departure arrived, the head monk offered the seeker a final piece of advice. Remember, he said, the journey to mental strength is ongoing. Continue to practice these teachings, and you will find that your mind becomes a fortress of peace and power. The seeker bowed deeply, filled with gratitude for the wisdom they had received. They left the monastery with a heart full of serenity and a mind fortified by the teachings of Zen and Buddhism. The path to mental strength, they realized, was not a destination but a lifelong journey, one that they were now ready to embrace with courage and grace. Years passed, and the seeker continued to apply the lessons learned at the monastery. Their life was not without challenges, but they faced each obstacle with a calm and resilient mind. The teachings of mindfulness, compassion, non-attachment, impermanence, and inner stillness became the pillars of their mental strength. One day, the seeker returned to the monastery, no longer a novice but a wise and serene individual. The head monk greeted them with a knowing smile, recognizing the transformation that had taken place. You have come far on your journey, the monk said. But remember, the path of wisdom is infinite. There is always more to learn, more to understand, and more ways to grow. The seeker bowed deeply, filled with gratitude and humility. Your teachings have been my guiding light, they said. They have helped me navigate the storms of life and find peace within myself. The head monk nodded. The true strength of the mind lies not in its rigidity, but in its ability to remain flexible, open, and aware. You have learned the foundations, but your journey continues. The seeker spent several days at the monastery, sharing their experiences and learning from the monks once more. They found that their understanding of the teachings had deepened with time, and their appreciation for the lessons had only grown stronger. One evening, as they sat by the river that once symbolized impermanence, the head monk joined them. They sat in silence, watching the water flow, reflecting on the passage of time and the beauty of the present moment. Life is like this river, the monk said finally. It flows continuously, ever changing, yet always moving forward. Your mind, like the river, has learned to flow with grace and strength. This is the essence of mental fortitude. The seeker smiled, feeling a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment. Thank you for your guidance, they said. I will carry these teachings with me, always. With a final bow, the seeker departed the monastery once more, knowing that they could return whenever they needed to reconnect with the wisdom that had transformed their life. As they walked down the mountain path, the lessons of mindfulness, compassion, non-attachment, impermanence, and inner stillness resonated within them, a continuous source of strength and peace. In the years that followed, the seeker continued to grow, both in wisdom and in spirit. They shared the teachings they had learned with others, spreading the seeds of Zen and Buddhist wisdom far and wide. Through their actions and their words, they inspired many to embark on their own journeys toward mental fortitude, creating a ripple effect that touched countless lives. And so, the seeker's journey was both an end and a beginning, a testament to the enduring power of the mind and the timeless wisdom of Zen and Buddhism. The seeker had become a beacon of strength and tranquility, embodying the teachings that had once been a distant dream but were now a lived reality. The path to mental strength, they realized, was not just about mastering the mind, but about embracing the journey itself with an open heart and a resilient spirit. It was a journey that would continue, ever flowing like the river, through the endless dance of life. Thanks for watching. Hope enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.